Previously on Psychonauts, I left you with the cliffhanger right before a boss. And I'm not sorry! It's time for the final area. Rasputin versus Oleander's father, the Butcher. Not a very hard boss, if you ask me. All you really need is shield. And you can block pretty much every single one of his attacks. Including that, which seems to not have the range that it needs. And he'll try to step on you and kick you, too. He will not stop. And also, if you're too close to him, he'll hit you with the cleavers when he's swinging them around. The only way to hurt him is wait till he does one certain attack. Which is not that. It seems like he always follows up with that attack, right after he does the side swing. That's the attack we're waiting for, right there. Now we climb up on him like Shadow Colossus and punch him in the face. He doesn't have a lot of health, but we only could get one hit on him every time we climb. At the least, you're going to be climbing him 3 times. But don't roam around near the center of this area. There's one big meat grinder, and if you fall in, guess what happens? That's right, you die! Just like getting hit with these meat cleavers. That will hurt you inside. Usually I could just fight him by just like sitting here and tanking all of his attacks, but usually that happens too if your timing isn't right. He kicks you pretty far for a giant guy. Alright, hit number 2, coming at you. Right up your arm. Not a very inspired boss, I'll admit. Tim Schafer was having an off day when he did this one. I mean, I thought the Den Mother was pretty good. Jasper was okay with the light element and all. In fact, I can't really remember many of the bosses in this game except for Kochamara, which is just silly. I missed my opportunity to kill him there, because I guess I wanted to talk about Kochamara some more. So let's talk about Kochamara some more. He's a big jerk, wasn't he? And also, don't block it. Ah, this is terrible. This boss is gonna take 1,000 hours at this rate. And I think he only does that at certain ranges, too. Alright, he really wanted to kick me there, so I let him have it. Are you happy now? You got to kick me, it didn't work, and now you're dead. Well, at least he was nice enough to give us back our hats.
What's going on here? What have you done to our circus?
Dad!
Polluted. Perverted. This looks like the work of mentalists.
I can explain.
Have you been associating with psychics?
Dad,
Psychics. Fortune tellers. They killed your grandfather. They cursed our entire family to die in water.
Yes, but...
Including you, Rasputin. And me. But I'm going to live. You know why? Because I'm still an acrobat. Let's see if you are. What's it going to be, son? Die in the water? Or show me what you got?
Hey, you know how I said the escort mission was pretty terrible? Tim Schafer thought of something worse. It's time to do an acrobatic platforming area with Rasputin's father. It seems like this level has daddy issues in more ways than one. And what's worse, this area is going to fill with water. You fall, you die. There is no safety net. Rasputin has to prove he's a professional. And it's pretty much all different kinds of platforming. Luckily, the game does not make us wait here by using swords, but I am pointing in the wrong direction now. If you wait for too long, there's a section here that will completely screw you. So you have to make sure you get through this level pretty quickly. And also Rasputin's father will be throwing flaming juggling batons at you at times too. Especially on those tight ropes. This area is actually a lot more difficult than I'm making it look. Don't worry, it'll prove me wrong soon.
You used to like to play catch with me.
That's pretty much all this level entails. Doing several different stunts. Don't be baited into jumping there. I've jumped there a few times and I got hit. And then I fell. And then I died in water. The patterns aren't that hard to figure out anyway. And oh, hey! This isn't... I don't think this involves acrobatics at all. I think he's just making stuff up now. This is just a climbing section. This just proves that I could climb. This proves I have hands. And also, this is where the game starts making me look like a loser. Yep, now I gotta fight all the way back. There's a trampoline thing right here, but I can't seem to grab that rope. Oh yeah, I think I'm doomed. Yep. You fall once, you're probably going to die. There's not much you can do about it. Especially with the quirky jumping in this area too. Just the general glitchiness of Psychonauts is your enemy here. Okay, now he's breaking his pattern. Don't do that. That's terrible. There's supposed to be one straight and then one lob. But no, he decided to throw two straight. This will make me look like an idiot. And also, isn't that water supposed to be farther down? I don't feel comfortable with that water being that close. I have some kind of water allergy. I have the aquaphobia. This game is giving me the rabies. You aren't even throwing anything, Dad. Come on. Rasputin's dad is a little out of it today. I'm sorry. Also, be very careful of that fire. I'm pretty sure it'll knock you off if you get too close to it. Now it's time for the ring of fire that we saw in the concept art. It was here instead. A lot of this acrobatics involves psychic powers. Rasputin, your dad is a hypocrite. Yes, he is. I need psychic powers to do his obstacle course. That's not cool. That's not fair. And luckily I grabbed onto that. But I'm gonna have to hurry up, because that water is getting mighty close. This seems to remind me a lot of Gloria's stage. A lot of trapezing, a lot of platforming, and if you fall instantly, you die. Pretty much how the name of the game goes at this point. Tim Schafer ran out of ideas to throw at you. Wait, down? I don't want to go down! Water is down! Ladder, what are you doing? Oh, this ladder is clearly drunk. He needs a designated climber. What is wrong with this ladder? Now I'm going the right way, but I'm upside down. Ah, this ladder's the worst.
Dad, I made it!
You cheated!
No! I used the acrobatics you taught me!
Don't lie to me, cheater! You crystal ball readers always cheat! You're no son of mine.
Ollie, are you okay? Where's your dad?
He's over there, talking to your dad.
He did what?
Uh-oh.
Somebody's going to get grounded!
Make that ground.
Now it's Psychonauts vs. Parents! New movie coming this summer to HBO. Now we have Rasputin's father helping Oleander's father to beat me. But that'll be their folly, because I can use telekinesis. And you can hit the butcher with those thrown items. Gets a little bit of health. It's really hard to both throw those things and block those flaming swords. And they hurt a lot more too. And what's worse, those flaming baton things get in the way. But he's not much stronger than he was last time. All I have to do is keep throwing things at him, and hopefully you'll win.
see your skull is as hard to penetrate as ever.
Dad!
What is your brain doing out here in this tank with this other brain? And who are all these unconscious people? What have you gotten yourself involved with?
Psychics. He's been cavorting with filthy, cheating psychics.
Is that really how I look in your mind?
Man, do I hate psychics. And seeing my son happy.
I don't hate psychics. I used my psychic connection with you to find you, and to project myself into your mind.
But how can you hate me for being psychic if you're psychic too?
Son, I could never hate you. I only wanted you to be happy, Rasputin. And safe. Our family has many enemies. I have a lot more hair than that. Now, son, we have to carefully unweave your psyche from that other brain. We don't want anything bad to happen while your mind is in this tangled state. The damage could be permanent.
Unweave? Detangle? Never. I like it this way. I mean, look at how huge I am. And I think I can juggle now.
This is your mind, so you are the strong one here. What I'm about to give you, my son, you must take care of it, because it's everything I've got.
Man, Rasputin's dad is actually one cool guy. Rasputin has just been granted Super Rasputin power. It's now time to fight with the true final boss of this game, the Dad Monster. Unfortunately, that Super Rasputin power does not last long, and we have to wait for it to recharge. And in the meantime, he's going to be chasing us around the map, trying to hit us with his foot, chop us with cleavers, and he can juggle now, so he's going to be throwing flaming things at us. But if they run into him, they explode. All we have to do is bide our time, turn into Super Rasputin, and beat this guy silly. Not a very tough final boss, if you think about it. I think I beat him in my first try when I first played the game. All you just do is keep running away from him from levitation. It seems like you can't do anything else otherwise. Just don't flirt around too close to him. Soon, more Super Rasputin, and then we can finally see the end of the game. Here it comes! A Super Rasputin combo! I'll show you what for, not Dad!
Bunnies! No! No meat! Ah!
Shh, no more. No more meat. Look.
There you go! Good little bunny! Hey, thanks for helping me save the bunnies. And for talking to my dad.
No problem, little Oli.
Bye-bye! Wave goodbye, Mr. Bun!
Where's he going?
We're separating the brains now, Rasputin. He'll be fine. Let's go inside.
Man, I can't wait to tell you about all the messed up stuff that happened.
Oh, I know a lot of it. While you were out, I poked around a bit. Tell me about this Lily person.
Hey!
And so, that brings us to the end. Where, as you can clearly see, the personal demons causing my negative behavior have all been eradicated, leaving me sane once again. This is also corroborated in CAT scan number 3 on page 59 of your handouts. On a personal note, I would just like to reiterate how extremely, extremely sorry I am for stealing all of your brains and trying to take over the world. Mistakes have been made. But this camp is all about education. And I know I, for one, learned plenty. Thanks to that guy right there. Come on up here, Raz.
We endeavor to build strong minds here, with the power to lift things, to see things, to burn things. But it's a special quality of your heart, not your mind, that truly makes a great psychonaut. This young man has it. We did not give it to him. He got it from someone else, long before he came here. But we can give him this, to honor his mind, his courage, and his heart. Son, we do not normally ask this of someone so young, but it is obvious to us all that you are not average. Will you join us, Rasputin? Will you be a psychonaut?
Okay, let's be perfectly clear about this. That was the best summer of my whole entire life.
Hey, the summer's not over yet. We can hang out for a couple of weeks still.
My family's out on the East Coast. Where's yours?
They move around a lot.
Well, you'd better go. Your dad's waiting for you.
Well...
Bye.
Children, it's an emergency. There's been another kidnapping.
I was here the whole time. You saw me.
No, this time we know who it is, and that's what scares us.
Who was kidnapped?
Truman Zanotto, the Grand Head of the Psychonauts.
Dad!
Sir, can you teleport this many of us back to headquarters?
Huh? What? Hey, what are you people doing in my kitchen? Now get!
Guess we're taking the jet.
Don't worry about your dad, darling. We'll get him back.
Yes, after all, we'll have Rasputin helping us.
I'm going?
Now how could we do this without our anti-kidnapping specialist?
I've taught you everything I can, son. Now, you go show them. Show them all.
Let's go.
Will Ford Cruller ever get his mind fixed? Who is the evil genius behind the kidnapping? Where did they get that sweet jet? Find out next time on Psychonauts 2. Coming 2000 question marks. That's been the end of Psychonauts. I'd like to point out one thing. The voice actor for Raz, Richard Horvitz, you see it right there? You should know him from a few other cartoons, like The Adventures of Billy and Mandy. He was both Billy and Billy's dad. He was also in Invader Zim, which you could actually hear that a little bit in Rasputin's voice. But also something you might not know is why Tim Schafer decided to go with the name Rasputin. Because of the whole obvious he died in water thing and his last name is Aquato, kind of referencing to that. But he actually got Raz from a person that worked at LucasArts. He was an animator called Razmig Razmavlian. And that's where he got the name Raz from. Initially, the protagonist was supposed to be called D'Artagnan. And it was claimed that his hat was so awesome, the engine couldn't render it. But you could actually see him. In the last cutscene where all the kids are hanging out right before they find out about the kidnapping, take a look at one of the outhouses. You'll see D'Artagnan there. This is an era where the games took about as many people as it takes to make a movie. Lots of people worked on this. Lots of voice actors. All of them are pretty good, including Steve Blum right there. He played Tiger! He'll put you to sleep with his G-Man voice, and then he'll wake you up. Because you're tiny. Nah, I think we had enough of that. Pretty much all of these scenes are just going to show the cast of each of the stages. Not much to do here. But I do have some more information to throw at you. Like, why wasn't this game well known? I mean, they obviously put a lot of work into this game, right? Well, by 2005, the end of that year, this game only sold 100,000 copies. By the end of 2012, Tim Schafer said that only about 400,000 retail copies were sold. And that was weird because in E3 2005, this game was actually voted the best original game. So it has an award next to it. Why isn't it better? Well, it did have some technical problems. The console versions only ran at about 30 frames a second, when other games were running at 60. The PlayStation 2 version had a lot of frame rate issues going on with it. The controls, as you could tell, were very smooth in parts, and sometimes you would just glitch out and fall through platforms and things. The collection thing, even though it's very varied and really stretches the game out if you try to go for them all, it kind of broke up the game's pacing and people didn't like that. I understand it. I didn't even collect all the stuff in the game. And initially this game was supposed to be an Xbox console exclusive, and it was going to be published by Microsoft itself. But they were trying to go with the certain unique games like the Oddworld series, which also has a cult following along the lines of this game. But it got dumped, along with Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath, and Phantom Dust. Sadly. And also, it had some very poor advertising. You did not see a lot about this game on the TV. I think if I remember, in 2005, I've only seen a commercial in the entire year. I've only seen the commercial for Psychonauts like 3 times. And that was it. Then I stopped hearing about it. Luckily, it picked up later in its life cycle. June 2011, the publishing deal that they made with Majesco, since they lost it with Microsoft, it expired, so everything went to Double Fine itself. Sadly, because it wasn't published anymore, it fell off the Xbox market, but Double Fine was able to pick up the pace a little bit. They released an updated version for Steam, which initially was released in 2006. That new version allowed for, you know, achievements and saving in the cloud and all that. That's the version that I'm playing right now, is the Steam version. I got it back in 2009 for 10 bucks. And also in May 2012, it released on the Humble Indie Bundle number 5. And it exceeded its past sales in a few hours, according to Tim. So, luckily this game did pick up speed. It just took it about 7 years to do so. Good for it. It was actually very genuine. As what I said about the sequel to Psychonauts, though, it's in funding limbo. Yeah, the owner of Mojang, which was Marcus Persson, he was going to fund it, but then the estimate came in for how much Psychonauts 2 would cost. $18 million. Probably more now, since our dollar's a little weaker. This was back in 2013 when that issue was made. So, it's kind of stuck in funding limbo right now. Tim Schafer told fans, hey, don't hype up this game to anybody that might buy it, because it's very expensive. Even Marcus said that he doesn't know enough about the market to actually fund $18 million on Psychonauts 2. Even though there could be a big market for it. Between all the pirating and all of the digital distribution like Steam and GOG, it has potential. It has a lot of potential. I would like to see where this story goes. I'm thinking something along the lines of that evil guy that Crawler fought against. Maybe he's up to no good again. Because it didn't seem like Crawler killed him in the end. He just ran off somewhere and left Crawler in his broken state. So probably it's up to Rasputin to go and save the day. And again, this was Psychonauts. These are all the crazy people that worked on it. Look at those crazy people. They're actually in an asylum right now somewhere. I've been ArmoredChocobo. I'll see you next time with another game. Probably won't be this one now, or any other 3D type PlayStation 2 game, because I had a lot of problems trying to get this to run. Hopefully it came out pretty well in the end. That's up to you to decide. Good night, folks.